Today, we're talking about something really cool, a blueprint for learning itself. It's called the Solo Taxonomy.
You know that feeling, right? You cram for a test, you pass it, and then a week later, poof, it's all gone. So, did you really know it, or did you just remember it for a little while? That's the big question, and there's a framework that helps us figure out the difference between just remembering stuff and truly understanding it.
So, what is this thing? The Solo Taxonomy. And that stands for Structure of the Observed Learning Outcome, which is a bit of a mouthful. It isn't just some dusty old theory. Think of it more like a map for your learning journey. It basically gives us a super clear way to see and measure how well someone gets a topic. It's all about tracking that path from knowing a few random facts to seeing how they all connect in a big, complex way.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why just memorizing stuff isn't enough. Then we'll break down the 5 levels of understanding that make up Solo. After that, we'll see how it works in the real world, weigh the good against the bad, and finally, we'll figure out how you can use all this to supercharge your own learning. Okay, let's get into it. What's the big problem that Solo is designed to fix? Well, it's all about moving past just collecting facts like stamps in a book. See, the real challenge in learning isn't just gathering up facts. It's about connecting them. You can think of it in 2 phases. First, there's the quantitative phase. That's just collecting information, like getting all your ingredients for a kick. But the second phase, the qualitative one, that's where the magic happens. That's when you start to understand how all those ingredients work together. And that's exactly what Solo helps with. It's like a ladder that helps you climb from just having a pile of stuff to actually understanding the big picture.
Which brings us to the core of the whole model. Let's walk through these 5 levels of understanding, one by one.
Okay, starting at the very bottom, level 1 is called pre-structural. And honestly, it's exactly what it sounds like. There's no structure. The learner is basically just missing the point entirely. They're confused, maybe bringing in totally random information, and they just haven't grabbed onto the concept yet. To go back to our cake analogy, this is like staring at a pile of flour, sugar, and eggs on the counter with absolutely no clue what to do with them. You don't even know they're supposed to make a cake. A learner at this stage might just say, I have no idea, or start talking about something else entirely. All right, moving on up to level 2, unistructural. Uni means one, right? So here, the learner has managed to grab onto one single relevant piece of the puzzle. It's the first step out of confusion. So they can do something simple, like name something or identify one part. In our cake world, this is like knowing, okay, I need to mix the flour and sugar. It's a start, but that's it. It's just one isolated fact, with no idea of what comes next or why. Okay, level 3 is multi-structural. Multi meaning many. And that's what's happening here. The learner starts collecting a bunch of relevant facts, but they're all just separate bits of information. They aren't connected yet. This is what I call the listing stage. You can list off a bunch of facts. You can describe a few things, or follow a simple set of instructions. With our cake, you can now follow the recipe step by step. Add flour, add sugar, add eggs. But you have no idea why you're doing it in that order. You've got the pieces, but you can't see how they fit together.
And this next one, level 4, this is a huge jump. This is the relational level, and it's where real deep learning starts to kick in. You can see how all those separate pieces suddenly click together to form a bigger picture.
Someone at this level can actually explain how things are connected. They can compare ideas, explain cause and effect. They see the whole system working together. Back to our cake, this is when you finally understand why you cream the butter and sugar first. You get that it creates tiny air pockets that make the cake light and fluffy. It's not just a step anymore, it's a reason. You finally see the big picture. And finally, we've reached the top of the mountain. Level 5, extended abstract. This is where things get really exciting. That solid understanding you just built, it now becomes a launch pad for totally new ideas. You can take what you've learned and apply it in completely new situations. At this stage, you're not just understanding, you're creating. You can generalize, you can theorize, you can look at a problem from all sorts of different angles. In the kitchen, you've gone from recipe follower to master chef. You're not just baking a cake, you're inventing your own recipes. You can figure out how to make it gluten-free or how to bake it at high altitude. You understand the principles so well, you can now innovate.
So there you have it, the 5 levels. It's like a staircase that takes you from just staring at a pile of ingredients all the way to becoming a master baker. It's a really clear map of the journey from surface-level memorization to deep, meaningful understanding.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually work in the real world?
Absolutely. Let's check out this really cool study from a dental school at Malmo University. This is a high-stakes environment, and you'll see just how powerful this framework can be.
The results they got are pretty incredible. What the researchers did was use the SOLO framework to give very specific feedback to dental students in their final year. And just look at these numbers. On average, a whopping 43% of the students' wrong answers didn't just get a little better, they jumped all the way up to that relational level. That's the deep understanding level. That's a huge improvement.
So how'd they pull that off? The method was actually pretty simple. First, the students took a test on some key scenarios. Then, instead of just getting a right or wrong, they got feedback based on their solo level. The feedback was basically, hey, your answer shows a multi-structural understanding. Here's what a relational answer would look like. Then, 2 months later, they took another test on the same stuff. And the results speak for themselves. On average, 75% of their answers improved to a higher level. It just goes to show, when you make the learning process clear to people, it really, really works.
But, no system is perfect. Solo is an amazing tool, for sure. But it's not a magic wand that fixes everything. It's important to be realistic about it.
So, on the plus side, it's fantastic for making the learning journey visible. It gives students and teachers a shared language to talk about understanding. But there are downsides. I mean, imagine being a student and being told you're at the pre-structural level. That could be pretty discouraging, right? And for teachers, trying to tailor lessons for students at 5 different levels at once, that's a huge challenge. It's really all about using it thoughtfully.
So we've unpacked the model, we've seen it in action, we've talked about the pros and cons. Now for the most important part. What does this mean for you?
I want you to think about something you're trying to learn right now. It could be anything. A new language, a piece of software, how to play guitar. Ask yourself, where am I on that staircase? Am I just collecting facts at the multi-structural level, or am I starting to make connections at the relational level? This blueprint isn't just about labeling your knowledge. It's about giving you a roadmap. It shows you where you are, and more importantly, it shows you what your very next step should be on the path to really, truly mastering something.